A show based on the facts, honesty, the man, the myth, the legend, constitutionalist Joseph M. Leonard.
Welcome to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard, and that's Lenard. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and an occasional guest type podcast. Really appreciate you tuning in. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show! Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist Politics. Joining me today is Jonni Jordyn, and we'll get to her name in just a minute. But first, she's here for this book, The Mother of All Viruses. And I think like this couldn't be so more well-timed, although we're talking a different kind of virus here. I feel like the mother of all viruses is currently running in my system right now.
No.
It's like, so hopefully I won't be hacking up along during our discussion. I seem to have stabilized well enough for us to proceed. I didn't want to cancel, that's for sure. But indeed, at any rate, the name Jonni, not Joni, Jonni, Jordyn, but that's spelled different too, Jordyn. And of course, the way my OCD, ADHD-ridden brain goes, now for the rest of the night, I'm going to have go, Jonni, go, Jonni, be good in my head all night. But again, for the benefit of those listening on audio platforms only, it is I was going to screw it up. I was going to say Joni. Jonni, Jonni, Jordyn, Jordyn. Welcome to the show, Jonni. How are you?
I'm good. And I like to tell people it's Johnny with an I and Jordan with a Y.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense. Absolutely. And I'm sensitive to names because I'm Joseph M. Leonard. When you look at my name, people automatically think, oh, it's a French guy, Leonard. No, it's Leonard without an O. It's actually Leonard Łaskowicki or whatever. At one time, it's Polish at some point. So,
well, Jordan is my middle name. My last name is Croatian. So I hear you.
Did I get that? Kovacic. Okay, yeah, I didn't know how close I would get to that. But yeah, a lot easier to go with Jordyn, right?
Yeah. And it looks better on books.
And before we get to the book then, and I apologize, I wasn't joking when I said that. I feel like this virus is, so I'm in a bit of a fog, all doped up on medications here, so I'm going to be a little slower than normal.
I understand. I just came off the virus myself.
Oh, yeah.
Last night was my first drug-free night.
Everybody seems to be sick. Okay, so now for the benefit of the transcript and behind the scenes, so everyone understands, we are actually recording, I'm looking at my calendar here, January the 8th. Her book is dropping on the 17th, so we'll be pretending like it's already out because by the time this airs, it'll be later. But yeah, when we're talking about everybody seems to be sick, it's, January.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to be sick.
Yeah, what'd you do for your holiday vacation? Yeah, I got sick.
Yeah. Oh, I had a great time. Lots of herbal tea, cough drops, and head medication. Yeah. Oh, joy. What a blast. So The proverbial first question, I like to joke, cue the Who song. Who are you? Who, right? Where were you? I've seen in the notes where you're from originally and all that, but for the benefit of the audience, where were you born and raised, and where have you all been? Where are you now? That sort of thing.
I was born and raised in Oakland, California. And matter of fact, if anybody cares, I was born in the same hospital as Kamala Harris was born.
Oh,
So she might have used my old bed, whatever they put baby infants in.
yeah, crib, not different word in the
I know
hospital,
there's
right?
a little plastic box they put us in.
Oh.
So I was raised in Oakland, lived in San Francisco for a while. I escaped California and went to Arizona. I was there for a while. I thought Arizona would be my central place as I travel around the country and do my other job. But then, if you remember that housing crisis, and my house, it went from having lots of room and space and protection, it went to being underwater, and so I ended up dumping it and ended up moving to Denver. So and that's where I am now. Well, I'm in the Denver metro area.
Interesting. Yeah, the 2008 bubble you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I keep saying there's another one around the corner. The housing prices are so way overinflated again because they didn't learn. The Dodd-Frank Act didn't fix anything. It made matters worse. They're still forcing the banks to give loans to a whole bunch of people who, when times like now, the interest rates start creeping up again, they can't afford them.
Mm-hmm.
And then wonder why everybody's underwater again when it collapses. But indeed, the mother of all viruses, before I get to what kind of your inspiration might have been for it, is I got a joke with you. Why the sexist title? Why couldn't it have been the father of all viruses?
Well, because I wrote this shortly after the Iraq War, and that was the mother of all wars.
Yep, that makes sense. Yep.
Plus the fact that I had planned to have several sequels to it, and I've chopped many of them off, and I'm just going to have three. There's the following. This is the Queen of all viruses, and then the King of all viruses.
Okay, all right. So us males are going to get some respect eventually, then.
Oh yeah. That's it. Yeah.
For the benefit of the transcript, we are laughing. These are jokes. We're joking around here. Well, her titles aren't a joke, but yeah, we're joking about the sexism thing. Oh, coming out of the Iraq War, and I take it the chemical WMDs and all those concerns. Like now with the fall of Syria, we have that again: chemical weapons and whatnot. Who knows what going where? We and Israel have been busy bombing the crap out of everything in Syria we can to try to destroy it all so it doesn't leak out. But so that was in the Iraq War and those kinds of things, a bit of a genesis of the story then?
The story really sprung from a computer program I wrote, which I wrote a program to simulate genetics, and I created simulated creatures with 2,000 genes on 2 pairs of chromosomes, and I breeding these guys was absolutely fascinating, and in that I learned a lot about how I could use breeding techniques to write programs that it's not artificial intelligence, but it's a way of finding numerical things in what happens around us. Like for instance, the stock market. If you could analyze the way things go up and down in relation to other things, you could probably find a pattern that says, oh, whenever this stock goes down, this other one comes up 3 days later. So that's really how it all started.
Yeah, to backpedal a bit, because I did see in your LinkedIn, you were saying no longer interested in IT opportunities. I'm a former IT guy myself, so so IT used to be your thing then.
And I'm still doing it as I continue to keep this really old computer running. We plan to have it scuttled by the end of this year.
Just don't buy anything with microsuck WinSlow 11 on it. My system was running great with Windows 10, and even as a former IT guy, I always tell people never rush into an upgrade. And like a moron, for some reason, I let them talk me into an upgrade, and it really isn't even an upgrade. It's still Windows 10 underneath with a little bit of Windows dressing, pun intended, on top of it. And I've had nothing but problems since. I have another computer, Windows 10, perfectly fine running. Now I've got an old gaming computer still running Windows XP. Not a problem. Wow. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. But WinSlow 11, blue screen, blue screen, blue screen.
Well, my writing computer is still running Windows 7. And
if it's stable, why change? Right.
Well, I tried. I went to Windows 10, and Windows 10, the installation destroyed half a dozen of my licenses, and I lost all of I lost Word and all of my programs. So I went back to Windows 7, and now I have programs I need to use that require Windows 10. So I have a virtual machine to run Windows 10.
Yeah, there's usually more than one way to skin a cat, as they say, right? Yeah, so I do the same thing. I've got LD Player to emulate Android on my laptop to run certain apps, because I don't get how everybody wants to look at everything on this little thing. Not me.
That's why I have a fold. So
yeah,
it's still too small.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to put everything onto the laptop, at least a 17-inch monitor, and that's even small. But
yeah, I think my monitor is 38 inches.
I've got a big, huge one too in the back room for my old desktop PC, which also has XP on it still, but I haven't fired up that machine in probably 6 years. So, so this is the first of what will be a series on this, then you were saying.
It is. It's the first one. It introduces a new character that becomes the main character of the second one and continues on to the third one. This new character is actually an AI of sorts, but I bring into question, is he really artificial or is he just a digital intelligence? And in the third one, I'm going to creep into, does this digital intelligence have a soul? Can he be given a soul by the maker? And so that's the one I'm writing right now. I'm working on.
Looking at the thing from Mickey on here, and it's like other books from Jonni, and it's like, even with my glasses, that's too small. I can't see them. Oh, actually, I could see them better now that I'm holding them up to the camera, but they're still too out of focus. Now, are any of the other ones remotely related into these, or is this one completely separate and apart from those?
They have my name on them. That's it.
That's it.
Those other three are part of a series. I have 4 books. The other one's going to be released also this month. That's about a magic series and about bringing magic back from 2,000 years ago. You know, why did it disappear? And then why did it come back?
Okay. So we're, I don't know how to quite phrase that. Because when you say magic, some people might think Merlin, some people might think Salem witches.
Merlin.
Okay, Merlin-esque.
Well, think about the guy that could bend spoons.
Yeah.
And think about people with extrasensory perception, or perhaps mediums and things. That kind of magic, not devil and not witchcraft or Salem. It's just people that have these extra abilities, but they disappeared.
I'm glad you cleared that up because indeed true. It seems like long ago, before our more modern society and whatnot, we become so reliant on other things that we've lost some of our senses. And that's
Yeah.
in a way what you're saying. People who used to have that extra, like we in our family have had a psychic thread through us through the years. And, I still to this day have premonition dreams, then all of a sudden, months, a year later, I'll find myself in a place I hadn't been. And I was like, okay, I remember being here. Now, what's supposed to happen or what am I supposed to avoid? Right?
Well, that series assumes that back in the days of Merlin, and Merlin was the perfect name because I'm thinking back in those times, everybody knew magic was real, and everybody either went to it or they feared it. But whatever people could do back then, it has been lost to the point where descendants can only do, they can maybe have premonitions, they can maybe hear what someone else is thinking or feel really better than hear. They can feel kind of what someone else is feeling. And
like an empath. Yeah.
yes. And in this book, a 16-year-old girl who is kind of visiting her ancestral memories, something happens to her and she comes back with the ability to do more of the real magic.
Interesting. One of my favorite TV series used to be Medium with Patricia Arquette. Do you remember that? I loved that show.
I never missed it.
Yeah, me neither. But, and most people thought of, oh, what a bunch of mumbo jumbo and that. But unless if you know someone, or like I said, us in our family, there's always been this weird psychic thread. Do you feel you have it to some degree too?
I've had some experiences I couldn't fully explain. I do remember I used to travel a lot. I would travel to Texas for 2 or 3 weeks, come back for a weekend and go. And I would only come back in time to turn in my expense reports and pick up my next voucher and out I go. And I remember one weekend I called my mother up and said, hey, we haven't had a family reunion in a really long time. Can you arrange it? And I fly out and she arranges it for the following weekend. I come home and almost everybody is there. And one particular uncle is just friendly and loving. And he's the one that was always kind of grouchy. But he was just fantastic that day. And he died 2 days later.
Oh my.
So it kind of struck me as kind of odd that why did I ask for it then? And why did everyone come together to do it right away? Can't explain it.
No, I know that's a bit of, if not psychic, or as I like to joke, I'm not psychic, I'm psychotic. But some would say that's probably true. But all kidding aside, yeah, that or divine intervention or whatnot. And I mean, I remember very, very well growing up in my parents' house. That house was built. We're in Wyandotte, Michigan. The Wyandotte Indian tribes were on this land here. That's why it's called Wyandotte. And indeed, my parents' house, the proverbial, was it built on an Indian burial ground kind of conversation, right? Because I always experienced an entity in that basement growing up. And I mean, it wasn't until like 25 years later, going through old photographs, is like, well, wait a minute. That's who I've seen in the basement. That's great-great-grandpa. What would he be doing at this property, though? He would have nothing to do with this property, but that's him, down to the hat. I mean, that's him. I know that was him. So he, for whatever reason, somehow got attached to that house, was there, kind of keeping an eye on us all, apparently.
That's your psychotics.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's go ahead and pivot, since we did the current book. Not a lot, but a little. The next book, let's indeed go back to those three that I can't quite make out. He's got to tell Mickey he's got to blow them up on the sheet so we can actually see them, because I can't read the titles.
I'll tell you. The first
priors?
one is The Lost Art of Magic, and the second one is The Untold Prophecy, and the third one is The Old Child. Those are the three you can't read.
The Old Child. That's an intriguing title. I'm rather curious about that. Let's delve into that a bit.
Well, we've all known young children who we've said has an old soul. This child, she's 12 years old. She has bright red hair, and she has an old soul. And
way wise beyond years. Yeah, I think most people have known somebody like that, or brings to mind thoughts of potential reincarnation, this is a Christian show. The Bible does not preclude reincarnation. We have one soul. The soul is one eternal life. It doesn't preclude multiple body experiences on the earth. And I know that blows some people's minds, but if you want to show me in the Bible where it says there's no such thing as reincarnation, please contact me, because it ain't fair.
I attended parochial schools from K through 12, and I had that conversation with some of my teachers, and they said no, we don't. The Bible does not say ghosts don't exist. The Bible does not say that reincarnation doesn't exist, just the soul. Well, so I think we're already giving away the part of the plot to my book.
Uh-oh. Spoiler! Do you want to go on, or do you want to just leave it at that then?
Let's leave it as a mystery.
Okay. Now, do you have any, because I've seen where it says you, like me, apparently got writing at an early age, because I'm going to skip to that if I could find it here. Blah, 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 blah. Writing at an early age. Music. I used to write that too. My dad was Ted Leonard Jr., founder of the Polka Kings. So I had music in my veins, which I take it you did too.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It is a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.
Not from my parents, but I should take that back. My father sang in the Glee Club, and he also did some musical plays. I saw him do Guys and Dolls. He was pretty good.
So you got a little bit of rhythm and music then through the blood, and you wrote music, poetry. I did all that too, of course, short stories. I did one radio play. It says you did radio film. Now, my book's up at Story Rocket, trying to get a movie deal for my book. Have you had any nibbles, or you on Story Rocket? Have you ever heard of Story Rocket?
No, but my fiance gave me a medium reading last week, and this medium started off saying, "What do you know about Britain and about British and a love interest?" I have just recently published a book that takes place in 16th century England, and it's a rom-com. And she says that is the book. That one's going to hit big, and that one's going to get movie interest.
Well, that's
the only nibble I have, and it's just from the spirits.
Well, I think it's divine providence then that we're talking, because like I said, my book is up at Story Rocket. You're going to want to look that site up. It's a site that gets your book before actors, actresses, producers, writers, screen adaptations, producers, directors, whatever, studio execs. So you get your book up there, you're more likely to have it discovered and potentially adapted. So definitely check out storyrocket.com. When we're done here, I'll send you the link to my write-up.
Thank you. I just looked around and I don't have a pencil.
Yeah, no, I'll email, don't worry. I'll email you the link to mine over there so you'll have it, and then you could put yours up over there. So, hey, indeed, it's like there's a psychic connection here. You were meant to be here so I could tell you that and help you get your book made into a movie, I think.
Well, I appreciate that. And I won't forget the little people, no.
Oh, definitely. A whole lot of people call me a little person too. Yeah. I don't necessarily mean in height. It's just, oh, at any rate. Just so in the fog here today. I apologize. I'm not sure where really to go next.
Well, you skipped right over the music. Did you want to know about that?
Oh, surely. I was right. I kind of got sidetracked after what I was reading there. Yeah, sure.
I play keyboards, and I played with some pretty high up there Latin musicians, including past members of Santana's band and Santana's brother, and did some recording with some of these guys. And I'm talking about guys that played at Woodstock. So, yeah, I'm old too. Don't. But yeah, no, that was my music career. I got pretty far up there, but when I left California and left them all behind, I had to start all over. And ultimately the decision was, well, if I'm going to start all over, I'm going to start writing again.
You still do a regular job, though, I think you hinted at?
I'm still in IT.
Oh, okay. Although you're not, like you say on LinkedIn, you're not necessarily looking, you're happy with what you're doing now. You're not looking to change your direction of your career in IT at this point, right?
I'm beyond retirement age, so I'm winding down, and I'm going to keep their system running until they're ready to pull the plug and turn off the power. And beyond that, I don't know.
I hear you. I loved being in IT until I couldn't work anymore when my body shut down due to health issues. I loved it, and people often say, well, isn't it great you get to be home all the time? No, that's not great. I wasn't ready to be retired.
And the money was good.
Right, and the money was good. The money is horrible right now, obviously, because I was nowhere near ready with a 401k to live all those extra years on a retirement or disability income. So, yeah, no, I'd rather have a 6-figure salary back, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and it's a little more reliable, let's say, than Social Security and Medicare right now. So we don't know where we're going to be in 6 months.
No, if we keep allowing more and more and more and more people who haven't paid anything into it, bankrupt it, yeah, we're going to be in major trouble. And I tend to keep my episodes around 30 minutes, and how time has flown already. So,
well, it's just the head cold that makes it feel like it's been that long.
Oh, is that what it is? My clock would belie that. Yeah. Unless if I'm in the twilight zone, right? Do 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 do. All my clocks are wrong now.
Yeah, your clocks all caught the mother virus.
There we go. There we go. Have you ever considered writing sci-fi? Well, AI, in a way, most people would still consider it sci-fi-ish at this point.
It absolutely ends sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had reviewers that have said it was action. It was action. It was intrigue. But at the ending, it's all turned sci-fi. And they'd say, I really didn't like sci-fi before, but this I liked, because it went there. And so, yeah, I've written sci-fi. This is sci-fi. And one of my rom-coms is actually sci-fi. It occurs, the scene opens on a rocket ship.
So where can people reach out to you? Do you have a website?
I have a website.
Yep.
It's Jordyn at Large Books.
Jordyn with a Y, A-T at large, all run together in one big word, right?
All run together, yeah.
.com, you said?
.com.
I want to thank you for taking the time out today, joining me. Again, I apologize for not being quite all there today.
It's always fun to have a psychotic brain fog connection.
Yeah. Well, some people say I've lived my whole life in a fog. So at any rate, thank you. Take care. God bless, Jonni.
You take care too. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having tuned in for Constitutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come. But for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless. Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help.
Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM is your conservative flamethrower. Weekdays, Steve Gruber starts things off at 6 a.m. Gruber gives his perspective on the issues of the day. At 9 a.m., Glenn Beck blazes the airwaves with his nationally syndicated program. From noon to 3, it's Dennis Prager. At 3 o'clock, it's Wham's own Thayrone X. On the Edge, Thayrone tells it exactly as he sees it. At 6, it's The Dana Show, your conservative alternative. At 8, don't miss Joe Pags. Weekends are filled with conservative talk as well. Fingers Malloy, Thomas LeDuc, The Abolitionists Roundtable, A Moment of Clarity with Pastor Rick, Your American Heritage with Ed Bondarenka, Dave Janda's Operation Freedom, and Dick Kupke's Trigger Talk. You can even get links to Wham podcasts from Dave, Dick, and of course Thayrone, all from their pages on our website, whamradio.com. Keep it locked on Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM in southeastern Michigan, and whamradio.com anywhere in the world.